So we're back. Season 10 is finally here, and all my babies are okay. So I found this to be a really hard episode to review. It was a good episode. I like how it set up the season, I like the direction we're going, and I have high hopes for season 10. However, there were some things that bothered me, but first let's start out with the things that I loved. My favorite thing about this episode was probably a tie between Team Palmer and Ducky and Team Tony and Ziva. All four of them were just amazing. The scene where Ducky says that he needs Palmer but the team needs him more just broke my heart. It was brilliant, and also Palmer stressing out about his first autopsy was just adorable. As I've said before, I'm so excited to have Brian Dietzen as a regular. I was so happy to see him in the credits, and I love the new credits altogether. They're brilliant. Also, I love the little dose of Tony and Ziva that we got, with their elevator scenes. I have to say personally that I thought it was just the right amount of Tiva. We had our little moments, I fangirled, and I'm excited where we're headed. Moving on, as far as Deering goes, he was an okay villain. I thought Richard Striff gave a really good performance, and by the end of the episode, I kind of felt bad for the guy. I loved the parallel they drew between Gibbs and Deering, that they both lost a child and then they both sought revenge. The final showdown was interesting. I liked how it was just Gibbs and Deering at the end. His death was very violent, but very quiet. However, it was a bit anticlimactic, I think. However, I can't really think of a better way to do it, so I guess I'm okay with it. I'm a little split on that. Something that I'll probably talk more about in my next review, it seems that Abby is revisiting her fear of autopsy, which I'm really excited about because it tracks all the way back to season 1. In this episode, Abby's unwilling to enter autopsy, which struck me as weird when I was watching it, because I don't remember her having an issue with that recently. She's been in the morgue all the time, and she even assisted once in an autopsy. And in the promo for the next episode, she's having autopsy-related nightmares, which is really cool because that was a plot point of the season 1 just amazing episode called Bête Noire, which you may remember because it was the first appearance of Ari. I'm really excited. I think it's great that we're revisiting this. I take back what I said in the live show. This episode did actually have a lot of good moments. One of my favorites was when McGee and Gibbs have that moment, and McGee thinks he's fine, then he looks down and he has a piece of glass sticking out of his abdomen. I think there was a collective McGoo from the fandom. Unfortunately, there was no follow-up, just Gibbs kind of mentioning offhandedly that he was lucky and he just had stitches. Now, I don't delight in the suffering of the probie, but wouldn't it have been nice to have a little injury and recovery storyline? Just the little one? I don't know, I guess after that moment I was just expecting a little bit more McGee. Now, unfortunately, this isn't my only problem with this episode. Now, I will preface these complaints with a very heartfelt statement. I really, really, really wanted to love this episode, but I'm critical, I can't help it, and I just gotta be honest. That debacle with the agent lady seducing Harper Deering was so stupid. I can understand if they were going to take him alive, but if they were just going to mow him down with bullets, why didn't they just shoot him earlier? What probie lets America's Most Wanted out of their sight? And why didn't they have the building surrounded? Really? On the plus side, it's good to know the new iPhone 5 comes with that new bomb timer app I've always wanted. Also, I'm sorry, killing off your big bad halfway through the episode, who's going to believe that? No one! It's just a waste of time. Maybe it might work with a minor villain, or if you want to kill off a villain halfway through a season and then bring him back later and resurrect him, but it just doesn't work this way. It's pointless. Just spent 15 minutes at the premiere watching a SWAT team walk into an obvious trap, and then we prove that it's Harper Deering, that he's actually dead, and then we spend the whole rest of the time proving that he's actually faked his death, and then we're just back to where we started. We're just back to square one. Deering has been 2 steps ahead of them. This entire storyline has been going on for months, and I just can only watch my heroes bumble around for so long before I just get annoyed. I also have mixed feelings about the explosion aftermath. I thought the destruction was done very well, but it didn't hit home for me. I didn't get the goosebumps I wanted. This is their home. There's a great violation there. When Aries killing people and he's just killed Kate, everybody just hangs out in the bullpen of safety. This is touched on in the episode, I think by Abby, but I think I just wanted more. Tony digging his Mighty Mouse stapler out of the rubble or something. Although I do have to say that I liked the final scene. I liked the plaque with the lines from the promo, the shot of everybody at the coffee cart. I thought that was really well done. So in conclusion, I'm going to give this episode 3.5 out of a possible 5 calf pows. It's just not quite a 4. I think my problem with this episode was that I was too spoiled and everything was just too overhyped. So for me, this episode just didn't work. But, that is partially my fault from, watching all of the spoiler scenes and getting my hopes up, maybe just a little bit too high. I also feel that drawing out the episode over 4 months, that just the way they did it, it just didn't work. I did like a lot of the things in the episode, and I feel bad for not loving the whole episode because I feel like almost everyone loves it. I mean, I don't hate it, I just feel underwhelmed. We had our little moment. Seriously?